everybody, today we're going to be doing a video on a full face of Savvy Minerals makeup, and this is going to get interesting, so let's get right into it. Yeah, they came as loose pigments, and now they have them in packed pigments, so it's kind of nice. I'm going to start off with a mattifying primer that's by Young. Okay, so Young Living logo is right here, but the line's name is Savvy Minerals. So first I'm going to hit this on my hand to make sure that all the liquid gets to the bottom. That way I can actually get it on the beauty blender. So we just going to do that, and my light's going to keep coming on because it likes to do that when it's plugged in. I've had this primer for a while. Also, the thing about this primer, unlike the ones I usually use, the one I use on this channel usually does not go as far with a little bit as this stuff does. So that I might use 3 times that amount, well, not maybe 3 times, maybe like 2.5 times that much whenever I'm using regular primers. So kind of nice because I think they're pretty close with how much product comes in them. So anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna kind of get this on my cheeks, a little bit on my chin. I'm gonna swipe across my forehead because this is, for some reason, how I always like to apply my primer. And I'm just gonna smack it into my face because for some reason it gets full coverage and you're just stamping it all over your skin. So if it works, it works. But I didn't have to get any extra whenever I was doing that, which is kind of nice. So Savvy Minerals or Young Living also has a misting spray that you can kind of mist on your brush before or after you get pigment on it. I think both work. I've never done a test to see which works better, so I kind of just do it however I want it. But since I still have to get it out of the container and into the lid, I'm going to get the powder on it first and then spray it. So the thing about this foundation is it's not supposed to be extremely full coverage. It's supposed to just even out your skin tone, because that's been a very common thing recently. It's more of a face paint with foundation nowadays rather than a something to even your tone in the face. Alright, so kind of have the powder on the brush, and I'm just gonna hold this away from me, spray it 2 or 3 times, and then I'm just gonna start kind of patting it into my face. And you can keep spraying it if you want, but I never really do that. So okay, so Savvy Minerals doesn't have a concealer, so I'm just gonna be taking a little bit of this and applying it a little more intentionally under my eye. So we're just gonna because the foundation itself is not necessarily bad coverage, so it works if you're just trying to cover up a little bit and not paint over it completely. Okay, so now we're gonna use blush, and you can tell this is a bit older because the logo on top has started to basically has almost near English. The logo has started to wear away. Okay, I got it right, thank you. This is what the logo is supposed to look like, but now it's looking like that, so it's a bit older, but there's still plenty of product left, so it's blush. Okay, so the fun thing about this is it's a loose powder, and anything with a loose powder, you have to be careful that you're not getting too much. Loose powder blush always makes me so anxious. I forgot to say which one this is. Serene. I gotta read that upside down. Alright, so I'm just gonna smile and try to apply that to the apple of my cheeks, and then kind of brush it out towards frame of my face, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's what the blush is looking like. I'm gonna do that on this side. You don't want to have 20s rouge. So just a little mistake, I applied it too dark, so now I'm gonna go in with this brush. Also, the brushes I'm using, except for maybe 1 or 2, are going to be by Savvy Minerals as well. So this is actually one of my favorite brushes for blending because it just blends everything out real nicely when it comes to blush or contour or bronzer or highlighter. Okie doke, so that's it for blush. Now we're gonna go in with bronzer, I think, and that should help with the extra I kind of applied down here. Whoopsie. But yeah, it's actually just called bronzer. So as usual, Savvy Minerals brush. This other one is, yeah, specifically for bronzer. So I've been doing it right, I think. On the brush, tap, 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 tap. And I'm just gonna kind of line it up from here to the corner of my mouth. Okay, so now that we've applied it, I'm just gonna go and blend it in. Okie dokie. Okay, so Young Living also has a highlighter called Veil. It's sort of like a translucent powder, so it goes on pretty white. But they also have a mattifying translucent powder, which is this one that's just called Matte. But I'm going to be using Veil just so I can do that for highlighter. So since it goes on so white, you're gonna wanna make sure that you really like tap off any excess. Otherwise, you might look like you just seen a ghost. So we're just gonna kind of like apply that to my cheekbones. And as you can see, it's already like pretty white. And part of that is just the way it glows because it's more of a like luminescent, I guess you could say. And if you really like that kind of thing, then you could just like keep it like that. It really does have a nice glow. It's probably one of the like glowiest, brightest, I don't know what you would call it actually, highlighters I think I've used, especially when it comes to powder. Like even the Estee Lauder one I have doesn't go on quite this bright. So if you really want a like bright looking highlighter, this is probably what you want to get. So I just kind of blend it out a bit more because I don't like it that bright, but it does still leave like a really nice sheen to it. It just spreads it out over his space better. Like if you look at that, I'm just gonna take that and apply it to my Cupid's bow. Like look how shiny that is. This highlighter is brighter than my future. I'm gonna take this brush by Savvy Minerals, and it has this little bit on the end and just gets it real compact. So I can blow it off and then still have a nice amount of powder so I can highlight my nose and then just kind of like brush it out. And then of course we're gonna highlight right here. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite highlighters, not gonna lie. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna go in and do my brows. So the interesting thing about Savvy Minerals is that they have five different brow colors, except they range pretty drastically. So typically you have to mix them up a bit in the lid, but the brush that you can buy from Savvy Minerals is so thin. Like look at this. How cool is that? Like I was doing my brows earlier with it, and it just gave such a like nice shape and color. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just gonna have to do it for y'all because obviously it is a makeup video, duh. Like dip into the light one with the brush and then kind of tap off the powder and then mix it up a bit with the excess in the lid. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of gonna like put them back into shape a bit and outline. Okay, so there's the overline of my brow, and then I'm just gonna go in and fill it in. I'm just gonna do my brows off camera, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now that we've done our brows, we're gonna go in with Cloud 9, which is this white pigment right here. So I'm just gonna do that. And then make sure not too much is on the brush, and then I'm just gonna like slowly put that on my eye. Like it's not even super like pigmented. I think it's just the like metallicness of it, the shimmer, I guess, is very strong. So we're just kind of starting with that. All right, so now we kind of have like a base to blend stuff on. So now I'm gonna go in with Drift, which is this like light brown color right here, and I'm gonna take that from my mid lid from about right here and to the outer corner of my eye. This one does take a bit of pigment to build up, but it is a very pretty color. Okay, so once we have it on the lid, we're just gonna make sure that's properly blended with Cloud 9 or your preferred white shimmer eyeshadow. Now we're going to go in with Elite, which is this red-orange color right here, and we're going to apply that on the outer corner of our eye and into the crease. So they are very pretty colors, but they do take a bit of powder to build. And honestly, I feel like with this palette, you could do a bunch of pretty looks with it, but this is a look I've done with a different palette, but I'm used to doing it. So I'm just gonna make sure that's properly blended because we don't want it to be super just like kind of out there. I'm just trying to blend it up towards my brow like that. But you want to make sure that you brush off any extra pigment because you don't want to keep adding in the color. You could just take another blending brush you have and just kind of blend it in. Okay, now we're gonna go do that on our other eye. Okay, so on both sides I went and blended a bit more. I'm gonna blend it a bit more because it's a bit darker than I would like still. And then I think that'll be it for red. So we're just gonna go and retouch Cloud 9 and Drift. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with eyeliner, which is literally just called eyeliner, which is a black pigment, and the brush we were using for our brows earlier. You can either use this right here, or you can use the angled brush. I prefer using angled brushes for my eyeliner, so I'm just gonna like kind of flick off the powder, and then we're going to get some powder onto it, tap it off into the lid because we don't want a bunch of fallout. And then I'm going to spray it 2 to 3 times. Alright. And I'm just going to do this off camera. If you want to see how I do my eyeliner, you can go check out my previous video on that. But it's just me regular winged eyeliner. Okay, so now that we've done our eyeliner, we're going to go in with Drift again. And we're going to apply that around our lower lash line, around here. Now I'm just going to continue this on my lower lash line to my inner corner. Now I'm going to take a little bit of VIP, which is this color right here, and apply that to my inner corner. Alright, so since I don't have the Savvy Mineral Mascara, I'm just going to be using this one by Tarte. And it is the Lights Camera Lashes Mascara by Tarte. So we're just going to do that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now that we've done our mascara, we're going to apply the lip gloss by Savvy Minerals also. Its color name, or just name in general, is Journey. So we're just going to apply that real quick. Alright, so that is the finished look. A full face of Savvy Minerals makeup, including the new palette. So, yeah. I'm really liking the new palette. I'm loving the new colors. I especially love Cloud 9 because of how shimmery it is. Like, I feel like if you wanted to, you could use that as a highlighter. Alright, everybody, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get a notification of when I post next. I hope you all have had or are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!